work for. And, fast food is an especially hard industry. And I have a very dear friend who works for White Castle, and it's incredible the longevity of their employees. It's just a company that's very employee and customer focused, and that reflects in job satisfaction. But anytime I'm in a White Castle, I always make a point of asking the staff, how long have you been around? Because it's just intriguing to me. And I mean, it's on average, oh, I've been here 10, 15, 20.
Yeah.
And they're one of those companies that actually was one of the very last companies to hold out and actually do a true retirement. So a lot of people stuck around because, there's just not many places that do actual
Yeah,
retirements anymore. So,
that's for sure. Yeah, White Castle I've heard is a great place to work. Kroger has a really good reputation too. I've got a lot of friends that have worked there. A couple of them have retired from there,
yeah.
but
But
I uh I didn't last long in the food industry.
yeah, it's a tough one.
I waited tables for a while. I like dealing with people, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these guys that says I hate people. I like people, but
Right.
most of them. But
Yeah.
but that was just you never know, when somebody's going to be in a bad mood and you did something that just got on their last nerve.
Yeah.
And I couldn't handle that. I don't like it when people are mad at me.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing that has really changed a lot of industries is social media and people's ability to be so critical of an experience, at a restaurant or a business.
Yeah,
And it's not to say that there's not probably, truth maybe to what they experienced, but it's an experience in a vacuum. It's not the big picture of how a business operates usually.
sure.
So I find myself wanting to quickly defend when people say, I had the worst experience at such and such restaurant. And I thought, they're no different than anyone. They have good days and bad days.
Sure.
But there's not a lot of um, grace, shown. So um, I try to not follow restaurant social media because it just makes me mad.
Yep, I understand. Um, hey Bob, Julie, I didn't welcome everybody. Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Um, yeah, that's hospitality industry is it's a lot of work. It's really a lot of work. And it's also based on your frame of reference too. Like when I was planning our honeymoon back a million years ago, I was reading all these reviews of these hotels, and we went to Aruba. And this lady was
Test
like, "Oh,
one,
they're
two.
horrible. The customer service is awful. We asked for this and didn't get this and this and this, and the rooms were this." And you get there and it's like, man, this lady, I mean, like, does she have like people with white gloves that wait on her? I don't
Welcome,
know.
everybody,
I mute
to the
everybody. Hi,
Rotary Club
everybody.
of Lexington, May 8th meeting. Here for our pledge, four-way test, and inspiration. We have Phil Gray.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Pledge allegiance first. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Be seated, please. Before I begin the inspiration, is that on? Yeah. Before I begin the inspiration, full disclosure, I've known Gordon Wall since 1973. I was a senior at Tates Creek High School and he was a sophomore. What nobody has said in his bio will tell you is Gordon comes from one of the most athletic families to ever be in Lexington, Kentucky. Terrific basketball player for Nolan Barger, which was not an easy thing to be. two younger brothers, Brian and Brad. I was very fortunate to get to coach them both. It's easy to be successful as a coach when you have really good players. And Brad played baseball as well, and baseball at UK. Terrific. And they're all better people than they were athletes. Really glad to see you, Gordon. This Sunday, May 11th is Mother's Day. It's always celebrated in America on the second Sunday of May. I thought I put it on. Mother's Day celebrations in the U.S. began around the start of the 20th century, thanks to Anna Jarvis of West Virginia. Jarvis was the daughter of Anne Reeves Jarvis, who is credited with creating Mother's Day work clubs, where local moms were taught child care strategies. My mom could have used that. During the Civil War, the clubs were also served as common ground where mothers would promote reconciliation among Union and Confederate soldiers. When Jarvis died in 1905, her daughter, Anne Jarvis, sought to create a holiday that honored the sacrifices mothers made for their children. We all know that's true. 3 years later, in May of 1908, Anna Jarvis organized the first official Mother's Day celebration in a West Virginia church. In the years following, she participated in a letter writing campaign to push for Mother's Day to be adopted across the nation. In 1914, President Woodrow Wilson designated it a national holiday. Americans will spend $34.1 billion on Mother's Day related gift and activities in 2025. 84% of Americans say they would celebrate Mother's Day some way this year. Mother's Day is the third most lucrative holiday of the year for florists, following only Valentine's Day and Christmas. It's estimated that Americans will spend $3.2 billion on flowers, $7 billion on jewelry, and $1.1 billion on greeting cards. Mother's Day is the busiest day of the year for restaurants. Approximately 90 million Americans will dine out on Mother's Day. There are an estimated 2 billion mothers around the world right now, and Mother's Day is celebrated in 100 countries. Hope you all enjoy a happy Mother's Day celebration with the women who make our lives so much better.
Thank you and happy Mother's Day to all mothers. Here to introduce our guest is Brad Blaine. Thank you to all those on Zoom. How many do we have today on Zoom? And a dozen on Zoom. Welcome. And our Zoom Master Dean, thank you as always, Brad Blaine.
Good afternoon. We only have guests of Rotarians today. We have no visiting Rotarians. We have Jennifer Bell, who that's Bruce's wife, and that's also Tommy's daughter-in-law. And also we have Sam Oberby with Old National Bank, and he's a guest of Joe Evans. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Welcome to our guests. And with the lottery, we have this month's lunch sponsor, DG with Aging with Grace, to pull two numbers. Here's DG.
Good momentum. Yeah. Okay. Hello, I'm DG from Aging with Grace, and I am this month's lunch sponsor, as you can see on your wheel horse here. Thank you. Today, I just want to feature the clubhouse. We call it the Fountain of Youth Clubhouse because it really does help people live longer, better. It's open 10 to 4. We specialize in dementia, and we can do all kinds of other medically positive interventions for people. And I wish you would come and visit and volunteer or just have lunch with us someday. Thank you. Now I will draw. Let's see. 1539. 1539.
One more.
I should have brought my ticket up.
Yeah.
1523.
Gordon, what's our total today?
About $400.
$400. And we're looking for the
Queen of Spades.
Queen.
Spades.
Michael. Oh, close to the nose.
2,000. One. Queen of Spades. I told you so. Come out. This thing's going here. You know,
I gotta reach way down.
yeah, don't be turning them over. There you go. Nope.
Thank you for playing.
Hey,
Have a good.
thank you for playing, and DG, thank you so much. Aging with Grace and Aging in Place. DG's Aging with Grace. And breaking news, Phil just alerted that there's white smoke coming out of the Vatican, so a pope has been named. This just in, and thank you, Gordon.
I didn't make it in bed.
Celebrating birthdays this week, Larry Spell. Cole, I thought I saw you, Cole, here earlier. Cole celebrating a birthday this week. Barry Stumbo. Rob Kirkpatrick. Edwin Gibson. And today, Dan Kett. Wish everybody happy birthday. Last verse on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Don't forget the birthday fund. Thank you so much. All right, for announcements. I think we're evolving the name of the Fantastic Four, the four presidents taking leadership next year. They invite you to a town hall meeting. It's going to be an open forum, an opportunity to voice your interests in the future of the Rotary Club of Lexington. That will take place, mark your calendars, on May 21st from 6 to 7:30. There'll be some beverages when you get there, and then we'll have about an hour-long meeting, and it should be great. That will come on the heels of a survey that's going out right in the middle of next week. So we're working on that, some exciting things, understanding the current and future state of our club. Now, thank you to everybody who's donated bourbon. We have around 38 bottles. We're looking for 50. So we've come a long way. We've got about 12, 13 to go. I know, Paul, you're in the back there selling bourbon. You could do a 2-for-1. Those bottles of bourbon are $100, and that will go to the Rotary Club. And then if you donated it, that's another $50. It's kind of an add 50% to your total donation, or you can just take it home and enjoy it. So we'll be at, speaking of Dancing with the Stars, this is for the Bourbon Pull. We're in great shape. We've been sold out for almost 6 weeks. Created some new challenges, but man, we're really excited for it's this weekend. And you know, in the position to be successful, we're if you've not volunteered but you want to jump in, we're going to be at the Carrick House from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then that next day we'll be there some during the day. And that night, if you'd like to attend, but you don't have a ticket and you want to volunteer, Susie, you're our volunteer coordinator. Please talk to Susie and how to get involved. Exciting stuff. And, you know, a shout out to the committee. This is almost a year-long preparation for this event. And we're in position for it to be one of our most successful of all time. And so let's give it up for our amazing committee that does great work the entire year. And a special shout out to this year's MVP committee member, Linda Weaver, single-handedly is responsible for around 50% of our silent auction items, a huge portion of our sponsorships, and a massive bottom line impact. Thank you, Linda. And Kim's not here. She's on television singing the accolades of Dancing with the Stars and Rotary and our featured beneficiary, Baby Health. She's on TV. I think it's ABC this afternoon. But man, you know, we're co-chairs in name. She's really put this on her shoulders, and the last couple of years have elevated the experience and made it one of the most popular events in town. So great job to Kim Johnson. All right, lastly, two more things. Where are we on time? We're good on time. Charitable giving program. So, we're a 501c3. We're seeking 501c3 organizations that could benefit from Rotary's giving. Please reach out to them and have them apply on the RotaryLexKY.org website. Deadline for that is May 23rd. And that should be emailed to the Rotary office. And if you have any questions, Buzz Carmichael can answer that. And there's also on your table, there's more information on how to get involved. And Susan, anything more specific about that? All right. Thank you, Susan, and thanks to the committee for the foundation. Now, lastly, around the world in Lexington, a food and cultural showcase will be at the Signature Club, June 11th. That's Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Now, if you'd like to attend and taste food from all the continents, countries represented in all the continents, that's going to be available next week. If you have a famous recipe representing somewhere in the world and you'd like to compete for the best food in the world trophy and honors, see me after the event. We're looking forward to it. This is going to be a lot of fun. And now, without further ado, here to introduce our guest and our day's program, Mr. Judge Bruce Bell.
Thank you, President Brett. It's always a thrill to present the Tommy Bell Award in memory of my late father here. It's been going on since 1986. It's hard to believe. I know Dad would be very proud to have had his name associated with this award. He believed in sports. He believed in academics. And I know this would be a real thrill for him to have this award continue on as long as it has. So I want to thank the Rotary Club for allowing this to continue. I also want to thank one member in particular who came up with the idea of the award, and he is still the guy that collects all the ballots and finds out who our winner is. Bill Strauss, stand up and be recognized. Bill Strauss, thank you, Dad. As you can see in the wheel horse, my dad lived a full life, but he was best known as an NFL referee, where he has had two of the most famous Super Bowls, Super Bowl III with when the New York Jets and Joe Namath upset the Baltimore Colts. It's still today the biggest upset in history. I think they were 18-point favorites. That game is the one that really allowed for the merger of the two leagues. The AFL was supposedly inferior. By winning that game, the two leagues merged. He also had Super Bowl VII with the Washington Redskins lost to the Miami Dolphins, the last undefeated team. And so that's historic too. Not only that, he's the only guy to do two NCAA basketball finals. He had two with two of the greatest players ever. One, Bill Russell in 1956, San Francisco. Then he had 1959, Jerry West with West Virginia. So he's the only guy to do those two things. I don't think they'll ever do that again. So that's pretty amazing. But he was also an outstanding lawyer and voted the top lawyer in Lexington one year. He was community leader. He loved UK. He was on their board of trustees and athletic board. He was the head of their fellows program. Some of you all may have heard of that back in the day. It was their big fundraising group, and he went around. He was a public speaker. He raised millions of dollars for UK. He also was in the Rotary Club, and he truly epitomized the service above self. He was in so many organizations, Chamber of Commerce, you name it. He was in World War II. He had to parachute out. He was in the Air Force and he was a bombardier. His plane got shot down, and I always say that made him very patriotic. You know, and I always usually close with this is, he was the best dad ever. And you know, what a, mentor to me and an example he set. I was just very blessed to have the dad like him. And I know, again, he would be proud to have this award named after him. All right, let's present the winner here. Over the years, we've had many different winners, and we've had winners from every school except Frederick Douglass, and they're kind of new. So we do pass this around. But this year's winner is from my dad's alma mater and my alma mater, Henry Clay High School. She's a senior there. She only has a 4.35 GPA, all A's every semester in high school. I'm sure not many of you all can say that. On the honor roll, of course. She's a golfer. This is the first year we've ever had a golfer as a winner. She kind of reminds me of a female Scotty Scheffler. She won 10 high school tournaments. First team All-State the last 3 years. She won the Fayette County tournament all 3 years. Third place in the state tournament 2 years. She was voted Miss Golf in Kentucky. She's going to play golf at Murray State on scholarship down there. What a deserving winner we have, Kyla Lunsford.
Hi, I'm Kyla. Here with me today, I have my parents, my mom, my dad, and then I have my two great aunts, and then I have my grandparents, and my boyfriend is here with me too. So I just want to say thank you so much for bestowing this incredible honor on me. I take my academics and athletics very seriously, and recognition like this shows that all my hard work has paid off. I will carry this award with pride and continue to work hard to make everyone around me proud. And on behalf of me and my family, thank you again so much for this incredible honor.
What a deserving winner. Proud of you, Kyla. You're a great representative for all young people in this city for sure. Wish you the best at Murray State. You know, in the past, I was looking back over and Bill gave me a list of all the speakers we've had over the years. And I think you might be interested in hearing who we've had. The first speaker we had was former Mayor Scotty Bass. We've had several Fayette County superintendent schools, 3 of those, I think. We've had 3 high school athletic association commissioners speak. Joe B. Hall spoke for me one year. Had 2 players, Kyle Macy, Jim LeMaster. Had Doug Flynn spoke one year. Had Olympic gold medalist Mickey King spoke. We had 3 officials speak, one of which officiated with my dad for a number of years, and then another was in the NFL, and then we had one local, Ben Oldham, that Dad helped get in the SEC. We had a UK football player, Sam Ball, who went on the NFL, who played in Super Bowl III. We had Transylvania coach Don Lane, my high school coach Al Pruitt, Transylvania president Charlie Shearer. We had 2 lawyers, Pete Perlman in our club that worked with my dad, Larry Roberts, who also worked with him. Trying to get different flavors for all the different people or all the different areas of his life. This year we got a little different twist. We got one of my best friends in the world, Gordon Walls, who grew up with me and knew my dad in a different light. Gordon went to Tates Creek High School, UK, got in the car business after that. 25 years ago, he's led to the ministry at Southland Christian, where he is there today. He's been instrumental in establishing churches in Richmond and Georgetown and 5 different cities around us. He's done an unbelievable job with our church, and I'm so proud of him. Without further ado, I'll give you Gordon Walls.
Well, thank you, Bruce, and honored and grateful to be here today, especially on the Tommy Bell Outstanding Fayette County Student Athlete Award is being presented. First, just want to congratulate you. And I think I got an A once. And really, even after what I say today, maybe it'll give you greater appreciation for what you've achieved today. And I can tell you, there have been many special people that's won this award, as Bruce said, going back to 1986. So it is quite an honor for this. I want you to know that some years ago, because of Tommy Bell, I was a Rotarian, and I'm thankful for what Rotary stands for, including service and friendship, fellowship, education. And today, in honor of NFL referee number 7, I want to give you 7 things that we can learn from one of the most influential men in my life. You'll remember Tommy Bell as a prominent lawyer, public speaker, and a former National Football League referee. And I'll remember him for that and so much more. First of all, Tommy Bell cared about young people like me. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. At age 13, I became close friends with Tommy's son, Bruce. We played junior high basketball together, not middle school, junior high. But it was an interesting and a difficult time in my life. Parents went through a divorce. My mother married my little league coach. My dad married a 17-year-old waitress that worked for him. And yes, I had a 17-year-old stepmother. But I will have her tell you that at my dad's funeral 46 years later, I told my stepmother that she's one of the best things that ever happened to my dad. Now, of course, I didn't understand that at age 13. My mother eventually died of alcoholism, prescription drugs at age 42. But I think God sits lonely in the families. It's a phrase from Psalm 68:6. It suggests that God provides comfort and belonging for those who feel isolated or without a supportive family structure. I can't even imagine my life without the Bell family. They provided the example and the guidance the 13-year-old needed. And Tommy and his wife Leslie became a home away from home. From hundreds of games of backgammon and dinners to playing horse in the backyard, to Tommy giving me his car. And I can't even begin to tell you how much Tommy Bell cared about me. But the biggest and most definable moment and the biggest decision in my life happened at age 17. Tommy and Bruce invited me to FCA camp in Black Mountain, North Carolina. And growing up, we didn't go to church or pray, didn't have a relationship with God. But at Black Mountain, my huddle leader was an Auburn linebacker. And one night he asked me about my life, and I proceeded to tell him about my parents' divorce and all that goes with that. And then he opened up his Bible, Philippians 3:13 and 14, which reads, "Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to take hold of it. But one thing I do is forgetting what is behind, I strain towards what is ahead. And I press on toward the goal to win the prize which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." I gave my life to Christ then. Interesting enough, for 40 years, Bruce would say, "You tell the FCA story, but you don't even know the linebacker's name." And then Bruce called me one day and said, I found it. His name's Mike Colon. He played for the undefeated Miami Dolphins. He was called Captain Crunch because he hit people so hard. And I Googled his name, and I found that Mike owned a financial firm in Birmingham, Alabama. It listed his phone number, and I decided I was going to call him and say, thank you. And when I called, he picked up the phone. Yeah. picked up the phone. And I proceeded to tell him I was a lost 17-year-old kid till I met an Auburn linebacker. Kind of interesting, over a year ago, one of our Southlands middle school pastors said to me, he said, "Hey, we're doing a volunteer training session. I'm telling your Auburn linebacker story, reminding them that you might not know the difference you're making in young people's lives for years down the road." And strangely, I Googled Mike Colin's name and found out that he had passed away a year ago in April. And it kind of hit home. It hit hard. But I'm so grateful for the Tommy Bells and the Mike Colins who invested in young people's lives. Number two, Tommy was a servant. Let me just give you some of the things he was involved in. Air Force, Chamber of Commerce, Junior Achievement, YMCA, University of Kentucky Board of Trustees, Athletic Board, Mason, Shriners, Kiwanis, Easter Seals, Thoroughbred Club of America, FCA, Southern Christian Church. Tommy Bell rarely said no to the needs of Central Kentucky. And the Bible says this in Ephesians 4:12. We serve God by serving others. And when you serve others, a transformation will happen in you. In your life, your service will also touch other people, transforming their lives through you. You see, I kind of think if there was a Tommy Bell monument, it would be similar to the one at St. Paul's Cathedral, Westminster Abbey, which gives tribute to Sir Christopher Wren, the architect. And it reads, "If you see this monument, look around you." And there's not many places we can look around Lexington and not see Tommy Bell's life. Here's the third thing. Third thing, Tommy kept us laughing. Bruce and I still tell his jokes today. You might recall this one. Story about a Super Bowl game where Kansas City Chiefs were playing. Fred Arbanis, a tight end, hit another fella head on. One of his eyes fell out. Not until that moment did millions of people watching on television know Arbanis had an artificial eye. He called for the water boy. He came and he sloshed the eye in a water bucket and put it back in his eye. And that was even a little bit much for Tommy. And Tommy said, "My goodness, your whole livelihood depends on your eyesight. And you've already lost one eye. What would happen if you lost the other eye?" And very soberly, Fred Arbanis said, "I've become a referee like you." Number 4. Tommy and his wife Leslie made a lasting impact through Bruce. And I don't know a better man than Bruce Bell. So grateful for his lifelong friendship, even if he did play basketball for Duke. And Bruce and I have experienced so many incredible moments, like the 1978 UK Championship game over Duke. And Bruce and I made eye contact when he came out of the tunnel. And you remember Jack Gibbons, 41 points, James Lee's dunk to end the game. We played with those guys in high school. Tommy took us to state tournaments where we yelled at the referee to get a new ball. And the ball they were using was brand new and so slick the kids couldn't even hold on to it. And Tommy took us to the Dream game in 1983 against Louisville. And vacations to Florida where I caught the biggest fish. Just had to get that in there. And Bruce still takes me to the state tournament at Rupp every year. And I think so we can play a great memory. Play basketball for Tate's Creek and Nolan Barton. 1990. Tate's Creek went to their only state tournament with 2 great players, Darren Horn, John Mark Stewart. And Friday night after Tate's Creek won the game, I got a call from Wick Criswell. Wick Criswell is Nolan Barger's brother-in-law. And he said, "Coach Barger wanted me to see if you would do the devotion for tomorrow morning's game. They said there'd be an envelope at the Hyde Regency to get you in the locker room." Well, I stayed up to 2 in the morning writing this devotion. Next morning, I go to the Hyde front desk and ask for the envelope. No envelope. I go to will call. No envelope. Well, I had a ticket to the game, so I thought I'd just go in, head to the tunnel, go into the locker room. So I marched down the tunnel and found myself in the high Regency kitchen. And some guy ran up to me and asked me what I was doing. I proceeded to tell him I was doing the devotion for the Tate Street basketball team. He said, well, these are electronically operated doors. You'll have to go around the hide to the guard shack. Now I'm late. And I start running around the hide with a Bible and my Dr. G nameplate that I wore on my warm-up jersey. They call me Dr. G, not because I could play like Dr. J, but they call me Dr. G. And I get to the guard shack. I get to the guard shack and the security guy says this, I'll never forget. He said, can I help you? I said, I'm doing the devotion for the Tate Street basketball team. And he says, well, you look like a pretty straight guy. I'll take you there. I'll take you there. So there as I knock on the door and then Coach Barger says, Gordon, do you have something you want to say? And I'm telling you for 10 minutes, and then I bring the team together and pray and head to the Rupp Arena floor. And several rows up, I see Bruce, and Bruce says, where you been? So I've been doing the devotion for the Tate Street basketball team. Bruce says, no, you didn't. I said, well, yes, I did. You saw me on the floor. And he said, where's the envelope? And I said, I don't know. I went to the front desk and Will called, and they didn't have it. Then I said, what do you know about the envelope? He said, Gordon, you're not going to believe this, but when you got the envelope and opened it, there was a card in it that said, gotcha, Guy Colson. Coach Barger didn't know I was coming to do the devotion. And I played a practical joke on one of the most serious coaches I ever played for. And Bruce had personally left the envelope at the high hours before I got there. Bruce and Guy were trying to get me back because months before the state tournament, I played a practical joke on Guy. We had a pink flamingo party at my house, and Guy thought everybody was supposed to wear a pink flamingo costume. Jokingly, we had only told Guy to wear a pink flamingo costume, but I wish you would have seen Guy Colson with white leotards and a pink tutu skirt. And for months, he kept saying, Walls, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Number 5. Tommy took a stand. Tommy took a stand. If you knew Tommy, you knew what he believed, where he stood in his conviction. His life was transparent. He believed in God, the church, family, education, marriage, America, and hard work. And Tommy did most of his messages by saying, if not me, who? If not now, when? Number 6, Tommy Bell stayed in the game. Every year, my preacher, Wayne Smith, preached a sermon on Super Bowl Sunday called Playing Hurt. He included NFL players who played hurt and Tommy Bell jokes. The sermon went something like this. The truth of the matter is this, whether you're on the football field or in the kitchen or in the office, you're going to be hurt. And the Bible tells us that suffering is inescapable, it's inevitable. And everyone has hurts and heartaches. You ever been discouraged? You ever been misunderstood? Feelings got hurt? Ever been offended? Ever had to deal with an illness? Maybe you had to care for a loved one who was dying. And maybe your children turned out the way you hoped they would. And maybe your marriage hadn't turned out to be what you hoped it would be. Instead of better, it's worse. Instead of health, it's sickness. Instead of richer, it's poorer. What's the Bible say? What does the Bible say? Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Matthew 10:22, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved. And Tommy Bell, for 8 years before he died at 63, battled leukemia, bypass surgery, but he stayed in the game. And you see, God loves you. And the love for the Lord is a game changer. And the question then and today is, will you stay in the game? Number 7. Tommy Bell. We're still feeling the ripples Interesting. After 40 years of his passing, we're still talking about Tommy, the influence Tommy Bell had. And Tommy didn't do life halfway. One of my favorite sermons Mike Bro preached was a compelling message called Making Ripples. And ripples made me think of Tom. And Bro writes this: deep down, I think all of us, since we're put on this planet to do something significant, to touch someone's life, to do some good. And again, he's seen the cannonball approach make this happen. Maybe that's why he thinks the cannonball is the only suitable entry into a swimming pool. Water goes flying everywhere. The ripples go out, hit the sides, and they come back in. And Bro shares the concept of creating ripples where a life touches a life that touches a life that touches a life. In the movie Forrest Gump, there's a riveting scene at the end of the movie you might remember. Forrest's wife, Jenny, who had made a lot of unwise choices in her life, dies at age 35. Forrest, standing at her grave, and says to her, "You died on a Saturday morning. And had you placed here under the tree?" He talks about what's going on in his life and how the little son Forrest is doing, how much he misses her. And then he reflects on life and considers the question that really marked me. And he wonders whether his mama or friend, Lieutenant Dan, had it right. Do we have a destiny? Or are we floating around kind of accidental like a feather on a breeze? And when I heard him say that, I thought, that is the question everyone who ever walks this planet has to come to grip with. See, we can float around accidental like a feather on a breeze, or you can put yourself in the loving hands of the destiny maker. Watch him fill your life with purpose and direction and passion and meaning. And you can hear him say, "I made you. I love you. My plans for you are to give you a hope and a future you could only imagine. Come on. Come on. Let me lead your life. We'll make some ripples together." And that's all I have to say about that.
For Gordon? Any questions?
My high school team was better than his, I can tell you that. You know, Darren Horn, who was a winner of the Tommy Bell Award, that was the game. You didn't go into it. I was sitting in the stands that day praying that Tate's Creek won. If they didn't, I would have felt responsible for losing that game in high school. But we had a lot of great memories, still do. Best thing happened to this guy. He married a wonderful lady who I think is on Zoom right now. She couldn't be here because she's taking care of her 4-year-old grandson, Karen Walls. Karen is, you were very fortunate. I don't know how in the world you found her, but my goodness. Yeah, oh, Karen, did you hear that? He said, "You're a lucky woman." Anybody got any questions about my dad or anything like that? Be glad to answer it. If not, I'm lucky to have a friend like Gordon. He's the best guy I know. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bruce. And Gordon, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Lexington, our very own Bill Strauss has a lithograph, a beautiful lithograph for you. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really, really nice. Kayla, congratulations. Good luck in your future. You always have a friend in Rotary. And Alicia, I think you had mentioned that some of the badges fell out. If we've got a few minutes, if anybody is available to volunteer, put some volunteer time in and help Alicia coordinate all the name badges in the right slot. She would appreciate your help, and there is a Dancing with the Stars committee meeting following this meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you so much.